So I took two verses out of the Bible, one that backs the other one up, yet it's two different. It's two different. See, this is the thing with the Bible. They tell you when you read it, you got to read it with discernment, which means you got to figure out who's talking. So if we look at Deuteronomy, you would think the guy that's writing this is talking, but that's not what I mean. There's more than one guy talking here that you would consider God. So that's where you have to figure out which one's talking. So it says, unless thee lift thine eyes up into heaven, and thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, should thou be driven to worship them and to serve them, which the Lord God had give and divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. So you would think, well, this is in the traditional sense. You got to lift up and say, oh Lord, that's not what's being said here. And lift up your eyes and look into heaven. And when thou seest the sun, that's the guy's black sun, and the moon, that's the ass, and the stars, that's the explosion in the head from the Kabbalistic Kundalini high hard one up your back that sends the electrical voltage up your spine. Even all the host of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them. Okay, that's the whole electrical bit right there. Which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. So this is actually talking about the act of fucking. This Kabbalistic anal sex bullshit, which is called G-sod. G, sodomy. Now, to back up what I'm saying, let's look at Acts 7:42. So God turned away from them. Now, this is the other one. This is the one that's trying to fucking screw you over right here in the Old Testament. Here's the New Testament. So God turned away from them and handed them over to the worship of the stars. In other words, he's saying, that's what you like, that's what you want. As it is written in the book of the prophets, people of Israel, there's that name. It was not me that you slaughtered and sacrificed animals to for 40 years. So this is the real God saying, all of these animals and these murders and shit you guys have been doing, telling people you're doing them in my name, that ain't me. He said, it was in the tent of the god Moloch, which is who? That's Baal, Saturn, Bel, that you carried. That's the ark. And then the image of Remphan, the star god, which is the asshole. They were idols that you had made to worship. So this one in Acts 7:42 is telling you this right here is what they were doing. This down here is the real God telling them all of this stuff you guys been doing has nothing to do with me whatsoever. This is an actual telling you, here's the moon, the sun, and the stars. Okay? And here's God, the real one that you would call the Father, saying, don't go around telling people all them animals and them kids and shit that you've been doing all this stuff to, you were doing in my name. Because you were doing it in the name of this weird shit that you guys have been diddling around with. The star Remphan is Baal. Listen, have you heard this? Try and understand me when I tell you this. Everybody's heard this. They mispronounce it, or not pronounce it, but misquote it. And then they misunderstand it. Money is the root of all evil. That's what people always say. That's incorrect. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. But I don't think the money that they're talking about is the kind you put in your wallet. Because we all have to work. And I'm not evil because I go to work, I have to. And most of us love money. We do. We don't covet it, but we love it because we can get things with it. The love of money. Remember, what is money? Money is currency. So the love of currency, or the love of the act of this G-sod, this sodomistic creation. Remember the lady in the cage in the movie that said, oh God of false electricity? Remember? The love of money, the love of currency, the love of that act is the root of all evil, because it's the root of the tree. And so all the evil is grown up off that root. So it isn't the root, the love of money, like as in cash. What if it was the, what, I mean, why don't you say the love of all cantaloupes? It has nothing to do with this type of stuff. It has to do with, when they talk about money, it's currency. It's currency as an electrical. And it all has to do with this kundalini and all of this bullshit that the Jews basically stole out of India. But the bottom line is that, you know, when you see the picture of the two fingers, like they show this fake Jesus with the two fingers and the disciples with the two fingers, or you see the picture with the two fingers pointing down, it's still showing you which way the energy's flowing. Did you get what I'm saying? So it's the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of currency, that electricity that they get from that unnatural act. So this here, Acts 7:42, God is saying, all of this bullshit you guys were doing over here, up here, I don't have nothing to do with none of that stuff. I was never a part of that. You guys have been running around telling people that's what I'm about. I don't have nothing to do with that. You guys, your star god, the asshole. And that, right? They don't know any of this. They don't know that the Jews are into this worshiping and murdering to this black sun, Baal god, whatever, that it never went away, that it's always been here and will continue to be here, hidden in plain sight. This continues. So, do you get the gist of it? This is Old Testament, this is New Testament. This is saying, oh yeah, this is what we like to do, and this one's going, hey, don't be using my name when you describe this stuff. This is an actual, here's the sun, that's the a-hole. Here's the moon, that's the ass. Here's the stars, the effect of jamming it up a dude's hind end. The worship of that, the desire, the drive for it. And this one here, denying that he wants anything to do with it. Don't fucking credit me with any of that weird bullshit. That's why the Bible is such a difficult book to read and understand, because you have to know who's talking. Most people would think these are the same two entity, the same entity talking both times. It's not. One verse said, I am the God that created good and evil. Then there's another verse that says, I'm not the God of confusion, I'm the God of peace. It's two different guys in here talking. You're supposed to be able to figure out which one's talking.